Hi, I'm Jeb Byers, Headmaster at Christchurch School, where great journeys begin at the river. I invite you to listen to our faculty and staff as they describe what our Great Journeys program is all about. This is a really exciting time to be part of Christchurch School, our place-based education initiative, our cutting-edge classroom practices, our 21st century skills. This is a great time to connect to Christchurch School, find out what it's all about, and join our family and join our journey.
My second year here as well. I'm Peter Kemp. I'm teaching English here. And also I came from a graduate school program just before that. I taught for 5 years in New Jersey, and I started recognizing a lot of the shortcomings of the traditional, it's called like doing school, where kids are there 40 minutes a period, you have them 6 periods, they're going here and there, and they're not really connecting the dots. So I kind of stepped out of that, and I went to took a year full-time at grad school at Teachers College at Columbia University in New York, which is it's the #1 ranked educational school right now. And like Wanda said, everything they're saying, you know how amazing it is to come into a school and actually be able to do what you talked about philosophically doing in grad school? And usually come out of the clouds and it's like, okay, now we're here on Earth, and let's get back to business. Relevance. Relevance is the key thing I heard from almost all my professors in all the classes there. When you're teaching English, sometimes you try and contrive situations where, okay, we're going to write this way, and imagine you're doing this, or pretend this, or this is why, matching verbs with subjects is important. Now we have built in, not just in the English department, but across the curriculum, across all the subject areas, there's relevance built in. We can go down to local communities here and learn how to tell the stories of our community. We can learn how to figure out which stories to tell. We can figure out where to go to find those. And it's exciting to be here, and I want to also thank you all for having the bravery to do something as big as this. And it's a little scary in a way. We kind of jumped out of the plane right now, and our only choice is to keep on going and to the end. So I'm just so excited, and like Wanda said, coming from a grad school program where this is exactly what we need to be doing, and we're doing it, and people will be following us here to find out how this school, Christchurch, is implementing the stuff that everyone's talking about in their ivory towers. Here we are, and we're doing it. Thank you.
One of the big things I'm trying to do is take our classroom and expand it to not only our campus and our county, but the entire size of the Rappahannock watershed. And for those of you, I know several of you probably know this, but our river starts out in the mountains. I'm coming from the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. For the last 10 years, I was an educator for them. The last 3, I was out on Tangier Island. I would have students for 3 days, and my job for Chesapeake Bay Foundation was to cause behavior change. We'd have teachers bring students out and pick them up in a ferry boat over in Crisfield, Maryland, and we'd have 3 days to change their behavior. I'm all about trying to get these kids familiar with what's in their own backyard, so that when we stand on Headmaster's Hill and look out there, we all know it's a beautiful view. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. You see the sunrise out of it. You can turn around and see the sunset back in the woods. But all of a sudden, I think a senior graduating from here in a few years is going to see all the connections to it. They're going to think about the Civil War. They're going to think about the science. They're going to think about spirituality, because a lot of what we're doing is like on Old Rag Mountain, spread out on these boulders on the top of Old Rag Mountain, and I want it to be as quiet as if none of us were here, spread out until the sun goes behind that horizon line. And every single kid was thinking, you could just feel it. I mean, Chesapeake Bay Foundation, change in behavior. I've been lucky to be part of a lot of wow moments and having students cry, come to tears, and teachers come to tears, just because all of a sudden what they're learning about makes sense. They're connected to it wherever they might live. And we did that in 3 days. Imagine what we can do in four years.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jeanette Atkins. I'm Director of College Counseling at Christchurch School. I have been at Christchurch School this is my 22nd year. I have been a chemistry teacher, a physics teacher, and chairman of the science department during my tenure at Christchurch, and I'm really excited to talk about. It's just so exciting that at this one juncture, this little school in Christchurch, Virginia, is going to be the leading school in modern educational techniques. And it is such a really exciting time. I'm excited to be back in the classroom. I am teaching chemistry this year. I can see such a big difference in my students. We talk about their strengths. We talk about their motivations. They are putting things together. It's really been a very, very exciting time for me. Recently I was at a meeting at a very large prestigious state university, and they had a faculty panel come up front and discuss what they were looking for in high school students. And one of the professors said, what you are providing at high school right now is a departmentalized, content-oriented education. And this is totally different than what we need in college. What we need in college is to have people who can think, who can take data, and to make decisions, and to be higher order thinking skills. They need to make the connections between the disciplines. And that isn't being done in regular schools. They said, this is what we're looking for. What we are looking for are thinkers, people who can think, who can be excited about things and see these combinations. So what we are presenting here in Great Journeys is that chance for students to be non-compartmentalized, to see the connections between their disciplines, and to be higher order thinkers. Every admissions officer is looking for that. They want that different student who can think outside the box. That's what's going to be necessary in today's workforce. Every one of those students are being sought after by colleges. And once we talk about this, I think we're going to see that our college admissions picture is even greatly improved, because our students are going to be known as those students who can think outside the box and do presentations and make those connections, the ones that they really need. And I think this is really going to help on college admissions. And I think that it is better for the students. They are more excited about their learning, and they will continue to be excited into college and graduate school. And I think we're going to really, they're going to benefit in the college admissions picture.
My name is Neil Cassie. I'm the Assistant Head of School and Academic Dean here at Christchurch. I have been here for 5 years, and very fortunate to be in a place where we are working on some incredibly exciting things for education and for young people. If I had to sum up what Great Journeys Begin at the River is all about, I would say it's about kids making connections and finding meaning through making those connections. And that happens in the classroom, it happens outside of the classroom. And what we are really engaged in is developing a program where students can do just that. They can find different ways to make connections with what they're studying, with the world around them, with their passions, and therefore discover meaning and develop relationships with other students and with the adults in their lives, and then become the people they really can be. And that's really what it's all about. Is back to that point of making connections. They having longer time to get deeply involved with what they're doing. We're hoping that they are able to have experiences that they couldn't have in a 45-minute class period, which is the typical high school class period. They can physically leave the classroom. They can go down to our river, which is just below campus. They can take trips into the community. They can physically leave that classroom again and make those connections that make their learning meaningful for them. Along with our changes to the length of the class day, we've created a time where students can connect much more meaningfully with their advisors. We have an advisory period in each day of our schedule, which to us, it's all about relationships. Students receive support, can talk, can just conversationally or get help or what have you, but that one-on-one adult contact that's available each day is also really, really important.